Alright, welcome back everyone to another video on the channel, and this time we will be doing an unboxing and review of Hot Toys Moon Knight from the television show. Well, not so much an unboxing as I did get excited as I did start posing this, and I did some of the shorts. I've actually had this figure for a while, maybe 3 weeks. I just haven't gotten around to actually opening it, but I did, and I decided to do it backwards this time. I did the shorts before I did the unboxing, so I guess technically this will be more of a overview and maybe a repose. So so why did I get this figure? Funny enough, it started with me playing. Well, actually, no. Let me take that back. It started with my brother-in-law, who's actually a Moon Knight fan, and he's the one that was really talking to me about him. I was from the first time I was introduced to Moon Knight was with Marvel Ultimate Alliance, I believe Part Two, where he was a playable character. I wasn't really too familiar with him. He looked cool, all white, and all that stuff. And then um, my brother-in-law was the one that was always talking about like how much he liked Moon Knight and stuff. And this was all before the show. And then the show came out. I tried to watch it when it first came out, and I don't know, I really couldn't get into it. And then I just put it off for a little bit, and then Marvel Rivals came out, and I started looking into. He looked like a fun character to play as, and then um, I don't know, like I couldn't really commit to him. I'm weird, like I didn't want to commit to a character I wasn't really familiar with, and then I started using him, and it was a lot of fun. And then when I started looking into him, like he had the schizophrenia, but then at the same time, he was like compared to Batman, he was like Marvel's version of Batman, and so Marvel Rivals really got the ball rolling. And then I watched the show, and the show was good, but the main reason, honestly, that I got this figure is because Moon Knight's one of my favorite characters in Marvel Rivals. So which goes to show you, like a video game can introduce you to a character, and then you can fall in love with them that way. Although I wouldn't say I'm in love with him, but you tell me that he's like a Batman type character, and I'm there, as Batman is my favorite character. So let's go ahead and turn on the light so you can get a better view of him. Really, a really sharp looking figure. Um, the all white looks really, really good. The costume just looks really, really good. It has a great cape, all that stuff. Um, so I do know, that I actually bought this after the Artisan figure was announced. So instead of waiting, I decided to pick this one up for two reasons. One reason was I don't know, I had no need for the head sculpt, so because I would not be displaying this figure with the head sculpt. No disrespect to Oscar Isaac, he did great in the role. It's just it's a Moon Knight figure. I'll be displaying him as Moon Knight. Same way, I don't display Batman as Bruce Wayne or Iron Man as Tony Stark. He'll be displayed as Moon Knight. So paying the extra amount of money just for a rooted hair head sculpt that I'll never use seemed like a waste. The second reason, which is actually the bigger reason, is the Artisan edition had some like dirt and weathering on the figure, and I really preferred this cleaner, sharper white look. So yeah, I decided to pull a trigger. I saw a good deal on it, and I managed to pick this up brand new. Toys for Kidults was the website. But yeah, really happy with the figure, and so we'll go ahead and open him, see if we end up reposing him, and so that way we can take a look at what he comes with. So before we actually open it, you can already see a couple of things he comes with. He has that big. It's not a shuriken. I forget. He has a big one, a small one, and there's actually an even smaller one inside the box. And then there's that moon display in the background, with that attaches to the stand. So from afar, the moon looks cool enough. It looks like there's some hieroglyphics on it. But the actual material itself is actually really, really bad. It's really, really cheap. It's just styrofoam. If you actually look at the back of it, it looks awful. But, at the same time, from afar on display, it looks cool enough. So no problem with it. I know some people had a problem with it, with the fact that it's, cheap material and whatnot. Similar to Batgirl, which I just reviewed. The cape itself looked cool. It felt horrible, but it was cool enough. So that one is the same thing. Just like the cool factor is, it's there, but like the feeling factor, it's like 10 times worse than the cape. So let's go ahead and open this up and see what else it comes with. All right, so before we open them up, let's go ahead and rotate this figure so we can get a quick 360 view of them. So I got him in the little dynamic action pose. Again, a lot of the poses that I'll be doing is inspired from things I've seen from Marvel Rivals. So yeah, really, really happy with this figure. That cape's actually really, really good. There's a lot of possibilities you can do with it. The head is sculpted, not a cloth, but it does have a light up feature, which I will be showing later on. So let's pause it here, and as you can see, that's what I mean. The back looks absolutely horrid. It looks cool enough, but it is a extremely cheap material. It's like they took styrofoam, spray painted it, and then went from there. But I'm not going to complain about it too much. It's not even going to be included in the artisan edition. Although, like I said, on display in a cabinet, it looks cool. People will like it. I showed it to my wife. My wife liked it. Showed it to my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law liked it. They don't need to know that it's cheap material. So, all right, let's go ahead and open the box and see what else it comes with, and see if you're gonna change any of his accessories. Actually, I don't think I will. If anything, I might change. I might just change out one hand so to make it look like he actually just threw the moon dart. Keep the big one on the one hand, and the other one change it to a hand with a styled hand. Make it look like he just threw the moon dart. All right, so let's go ahead and transition over to the accessories. So I have the accessories out of the box, but I wanted to show like the sleeve. This does spin, so has a cool feature on it. I mean, it's a box at the end of the day. The art there that actually looks really cool, and then the bandages around them and the silver and stuff. So decent box. Good. Overall, it's good. So as far as accessories, as I mentioned, that you already see the big moon diorama. The stand over there is fairly big. He does come with a flight stand, so pretty cool. He also has batteries, as I mentioned. So I will be turning on the light feature when we're doing poses on him. Most likely I'll turn it on when I decide the final pose that I will be posing him in, as those little tiny batteries have a really short lifespan to it. So we got hands. We got 8 hands plus the 2 he has coming, so 10 total. And then the small moon dart, medium sized moon dart, and the large moon dart. The large moon dart, he actually, I think that's the one he uses the most commonly in Marvel Rivals. Like I said, I know this is based on the TV show, but I will be personally referencing Marvel Rivals a lot. Just because that's the main reason I picked up the figure. So as far as accessories, he's okay, good amount of hands, but all the accessories are pretty much just darts of varying sizes. So that's about all you're gonna get. So a lot of the poses you're gonna have is either a fighting pose or a dart pose, and nothing else. No grappling hook, which he uses in Marvel Rivals. I don't recall if he uses it in the show. I don't, maybe not. No Ankh, which is that kind of like the Egyptian cross kind of deal. Again, more of a Marvel Rivals thing, so I guess that's okay. But overall, accessories are fair, not great, decent, I guess. Yeah, decent. But yeah, so that's pose number 1, and since I said, I do like this pose. This is gonna be one of the choices. In the short, I did have him in a jumping pose. Unfortunately, given the size of this thing, it won't fit in my cabinet. Moon Knight won't fit in my cabinet with a jumping pose. Easy solution is I take out the moon, but I actually rather like it in the cabinet, so we're gonna keep it there. So any pose I come up with them will be grounded, so to speak. So this is pose 1, and then we'll look at pose number 2. So I wanted to just show off this pose. It looks silly. It would look a lot better if it was in an aerial pose. But I just wanted to show how well the cape interacts with. You can put him in a landing pose, and yeah, the cape spreads out really, really nicely. The wiring, the posability on this cape is really nice. It has this like dual layer type of deal. The design on it is really cool. It's a really attractive cape, to be honest, and I do like it a lot. So you can do them in a landing pose, a jumping pose, and all that. And the cape just styles really nicely. Now I'm like second guessing myself. I kind of want to remove the moon, but like I said, I don't know why I like the moon. I like the moon. Maybe I can switch it out. I guess put the moon in first, and the clamp. Yeah, you know what? Let's do that. Let's switch it around. I think that'll make more sense. Okay, I'm gonna do that. I am gonna switch around the moon and the clamp, and then we'll see how that looks. So, the other reason I'm being stubborn with this is Moon Knight's ultimate in Marvel Rivals. A portal opens up, and then there you can see a moon, and then from the moon, the fist of Khonshu drops down in an area. So that's the only reason, honestly, I'm being stubborn about this. Like, aside from the fact that he is Moon Knight. So, all right, let me change it up and see if we can make that work. All right, so I did switch it around. He does end up covering the moon, which is, I guess that's what happens anyway, and the cape has to go over it. It is what it is. But that still looks pretty cool, to be honest. Jumping, landing, what have you. So this is a decent pose. Actually, kind of like it too. Probably change out a couple things, but yeah, I just wanted to show. Yeah, I will keep it this way. Gives me a little more flexibility to pose a figure, do the moon first, and then the clamp after. Okay, let's go ahead and change the pose. All right, so here's another pose for Moon Knight. Jumping, dynamic, cape out, throwing. He just threw a shuriken and a dart, and he still has another one in his hand. So I actually think this is going to be the pose I'll be leaving him in. So, as I mentioned earlier, given that this will be his final pose, I will be turning on his headlight, and so that way I can show you guys how that looks with the eyes on and this pose. Okay, so let's get that going, and then while we have that, we're gonna be giving his grades out. All right, so we have his lights on, which it's really nice looking. Actually, you can still see it even in with the lights on in here. Um, let's go ahead and turn off this light. That looks really cool, nice and dim. And then check this out. Take it one step further. Lights off and lights off. So there we have Moon Knight right there, looking really nice. And lights off. That looks so cool. And that flashing in the background is a TV, because if I turn it off, it completely fits black. Slowly fade. There you go. Ooh. All right, let's turn everything back on so we're not in complete darkness. And as we do that, let's go ahead and give out Moon Knight's grades. So for the look of the figure, easy 10 out of 10. It's one of the best looking figures I've seen, and it is based on the outfit from the Disney Plus series with Oscar Isaac, and this does a wonderful job showing that off. It's flawless in my opinion. So really great looking figure. Not surprised they decided to do an artisan version of this one, although like I said, I can't really justify it as I won't be taking full advantage of it. They are also releasing the Mr. Knight, which is the Marc Jacobs, which is the less violent version, and this is the Steven one. Although, please excuse me if I have that backwards. But the Mr. Knight version is the one in the tuxedo, and the less dangerous one. So yeah, as far as the look, it's a 10 out of 10. As far as the accessories, I do find it a bit lacking. As I mentioned, it's mostly shurikens. I like the fact that it comes with 10 hands, but then a lot of it you're just leaving up to just styling hands, since there's only so many things you can do with a shuriken. No grappling, no nothing else. The only accessories you get are the shurikens and the hands, and that stand in the background, the diorama stand. So overall, accessory wise, pretty poor, but probably a 7 overall. Um, as far as the fun factor, though, so I would say the fun factor of this figure is about an 8.5. Um, you would think the with the way the suit looks or something like that, that it would be hard to pose, but that's actually very far from the case. The suit is, easy to work with, and then the light up feature is pretty fun. Unfortunately, it is battery powered, so it's not something you can leave on for long periods of time. Um, I wish it was USB, but I believe this figure came out before the time of USBs. But not that I think Hot Toys would have gone USB with it anyway. But it would have been good if this was a USB one, so you can leave the eye feature on long term and permanently. So fun factor is about 8.5. Do I recommend the figure? Yeah, if you're a Moon Knight guy, it's really solid. I showed it to my brother-in-law, and he's a bigger Moon Knight fan than I am, and he approves. He thought the figure looked really good. If you're into just fun, cool looking figures, then this is one of them as well. If you're a Marvel Rivals fan, then yeah, definitely this is a good one. The costumes that they have in game look nothing like this, but you never know. Maybe they'll release one. They did release the Multiverse of Madness versions of Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch, so maybe they'll release a TV version of Moon Knight. But yeah, overall, I think this is a wonderful looking figure. It did come out, I think, like 22 or 23, so I'm a bit late to this one, but you know, it's a it doesn't make it any less cool, and you know, it however you get introduced to the character. Now, I didn't buy it because I like the show was good. It was all right, but Marvel Rivals was the main reason I picked up this figure, and I'm not ashamed to say that. I'll probably look into reading some of the comics because of it, though. But yeah, at the end of the day, it is a cool figure. So yeah, that'll wrap it up for this one. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you on the next one, which will, as I also posted a short of it already. I have the Asmus Gandalf that I picked up, so my next few videos will probably be based on that one, depending on how this weekend goes. But yeah, I wanted to get this one out there as I've been waiting to talk about this figure. Anyway, enjoy your weekend, and remember to collect what you like, collect what you enjoy, and always enjoy what you collect. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.